everybody, welcome back. Everybody, I'm sure you've met Martin before, but Martin, meet all of our viewers behind the camera. Martin is with Buyer's Choice Home Inspections, and you have been, how long have you been a preferred supplier at CIR for now?
I think maybe 3 or 4 years.
Yes,
Yeah.
So you are not new. I think
Not new.
You've been to most of our events. This is not your first time on this show.
Nope.
So you are not a rookie. But we are here because after those 3 years, you have done so much for us as a brokerage, and your inspectors have done so much from an educational and work standpoint from our realtors that we asked you guys to be our partner, and you said yes, and we are pumped up about it. So welcome.
Thank you. We are also pumped up about it. We've had a great run together, and we're really looking forward to this next phase.
Sweet.
We were just saying that, well, first of all, just to let you guys know, there's 2 different levels of engagement you can have with CIR, and probably 3 now if you include Best My Nest in some respects. But the highest level, there's a preferred supplier, but then there's also now a full-blown partnership, and there's a lot more points of engagement that we can have. And it's important to have partners that provide synergy to a relationship where it's not just where you guys are a partner to give business, but it's a partner to also help you guys run your businesses better, and lots of the infrastructure that a Buyer's Choice has set up is phenomenal. So tell us a little bit about what you do for a Buyer's Choice and what makes you guys different. Tell us about yourselves.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Great opportunity for me to, we generally don't talk about ourselves that much. We usually talk about the business, and so this is a great opportunity. Myself, I'm what we call a regional owner, so we're a franchise operation. I work with our franchisees mostly to work with our partners and to drive the brand into the marketplace, as well as help train our inspectors so that they are following the brand.
Yeah.
With regards to our organization and our partnership with CIR, one of the things that's really exciting to me about this is we use the term partnership quite a bit. And when we get our CIR partner page finished, which should be in the next couple of days once the hurricane passes, because our IT department is in Florida.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, with no power right now.
Oh, no.
So we're hoping to have it out for this morning, but it'll be a few more days. We'll see how many days that is. But it's called the partner page. And really one of the things that it does is it allows the realtors the opportunity to go on and look at things like our warranties. We have a lot of unique aspects to our home inspection business that some of the agents will not have seen before, and we can explain it quickly on things like this, but really just to get in and dig in and say, what is the 5-year roof warranty? What does that cover? What is our real estate dashboard? How do I use that? So that's what the partner page will be a resource for them, and also allow them to find their local inspector as well.
Perfect.
Cool. Okay, so so one of the things that was important to us when we put this partnership together was making sure that your inspectors kind of covered the gamut where all of our realtors work. So talk a little bit about who you have on the team and where they work.
Right. So we actually cover 100% of where CIR is in Alberta.
Really?
So anywhere,
all markets.
Anywhere where you are, we are. Strathmore, Airdrie, Red Deer, Sundre. We have a couple of guys in Okotoks, and we're even, hopefully you'll continue to expand, because we've got Medicine Hat and Lethbridge waiting for you as well.
Awesome.
And then, of course, we've got 12 people in Calgary itself. So anywhere where you are, we are. And the best place to find our inspectors is just on abuyerchoice.com. You can type in the postal code that you're working in, and you can pick the inspector. You can pick any inspector. They all work everywhere. They do have assigned areas, but their areas are marketing areas, so that's where they will go in and work in your specific offices. But as far as inspections, they can all inspect everywhere.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now you talked about this educational portal for our realtors. You mentioned a few things.
Right.
Dive in a little bit deeper. What exactly is on there that a realtor might find super helpful for their business?
Yes. Okay. So there's a few different tools that we're going to introduce to your team over the next few weeks. We don't want to give you too many things at once, but the training platforms that we'll be doing in our lunch and learns, also within the offices themselves. We already did one in the Northeast office on our pre-inspection, and we've talked a little bit about that, how we do the pre-inspection a little bit differently to capture those older listings on older homes, sell them a little bit quicker for more money, and how to use that tool. So we're going to be going to the offices to do those as well. There's a video that we will have on your intranet site that's available to your people.
Perfect.
So they'll be able to send that video to their clients. So if they're speaking to them about the program, sometimes it's just as easy to shoot them a video and say, here, just watch this, and then we'll talk about it. So that tool will be available to you as well. We're going to continue with the training in each one of the offices for the people that are interested in learning more. And we also have we do one-on-one training, and that's one of the things that we're really looking forward to. Because it's one thing to go through and sit in the classroom and learn it, but you still end up with some questions.
Yeah.
And so we like to get together one-on-one where we have our partner page basically on a piece of paper and really go through and answer all of those questions. When we think about our agent partners that we're dealing with, because as a company, a Buyer's Choice, CIR, we're partners, but tomorrow, in front of a customer, it's that inspector and that agent.
Right.
And they need to have their own partnership. They need to be thinking along the same line so that when they're working with a customer, everybody's moving in the same direction. So our philosophy as a company is assist, comfort, and protect. So we're there to assist the agent in putting that deal together. At the end of the day, we quite often get called in when somebody's put an offer on a house subject to an inspection. Nobody puts an offer on a house they don't want to buy. At this point, they want to buy that house, and the seller wants to sell it, and both agents want the same thing. And so it's our job to go in and assist with that transaction. And the best way we can assist is by having a partnership with our realtor one-on-one so everybody knows what's going on before we show up.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where those one-on-one coffee meetings are fantastic, where we can get together and make sure we're all on the same page.
And to add to that, I know for realtors, anytime I was working with clients, making sure that your clients had realistic expectations about what is happening, what to expect when it comes in, and even just budgeting your own timelines and not over-promising. The more knowledgeable that you guys are about it, and even just watching the inspectors, you learn so much by even attending the inspection itself, that in your initial walkthroughs, you start pointing stuff out, saying, I'm gonna let the inspector know about that piece and that piece, so they can double check it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And
Sorry,
please,
go ahead.
continue.
so go ahead. And then the comfort piece is really just is explaining those things. Is every house you walk into, I don't care if it's brand new or if it's 50 years old, there's going to be stuff.
Yes.
Right? And people shouldn't expect that the house is going to be perfect. There is going to be things. So our job as an inspector is to educate the buyer on what that is, how it can be repaired, in a way that doesn't scare them, right? I know one of the things that agents I speak to are always concerned that the inspector is going to go in and bring something up and send their client running for the hills frightened. So the comfort piece is really all about how we explain the issues in the home. And then the protect is if there is something big, if people are, especially new home buyers or new Canadians who don't necessarily know everything about a home, they're mortgaged pretty well as high as they can go, they can't afford a $50,000 fix, it's super important that we protect these people from something that may be pending that they're not aware of. And even protecting the seller, because if they do get into that house and there is a major issue that wasn't disclosed, the seller's involved, both agents are involved, it's not pretty. So that protect piece, it doesn't just protect the buyer, it's the buyer, the seller, and the agents as well. And we have a couple other tools to help protect the agents that we'll be talking about as well.
I love the fact that we try, sorry, let me back up. We try to partner with companies that are doing this, that are staying innovative, staying relevant in the marketplace, and that is something that I really see with you guys. So, thank you for all of that.
Yeah, we have a lunch and learn coming up, and it touches on something that you earlier said, but how important it is for a realtor to have some sense of what to look for.
Totally.
So Martin and I have been working on kind of our first post-partnership lunch and learn, which is going to be at, is it the end of this month or is it the start of October?
I think it's the 29th or 26th. It's at the end of this month.
Okay, perfect.
More information coming out on that.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming. But what you're doing in that is the classes for realtors, and it's to give them an understanding and appreciation of what they need to know during a walkthrough. So talk
Right.
a little bit about what they can expect to learn on this, because it's really important stuff.
Right. So we thought this was important as our first lunch and learn, because this is really where the partnership starts. It's before we even show up, right?
Yeah.
Is what we'd like to do, if you look at that, the worst case scenario, where we show up, there's a huge issue in the house, we bring it up to them as the best we can, but we can't overcome it, and the deal's done. Often in those situations, if the buyer knew before we showed up, either we wouldn't be there and they wouldn't be spending money on an inspection, or they would at least be soft shoot into it. So what we like to do is educate the realtor on just some things to look for in a house, and if you see those things, just mention, I'm noticing a little bit of settlement in this corner of the house. I'm sure your inspector will talk to you about that. Then when we do go in and bring it up, it's not quite as frightening.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what we're trying to do in this program is just really educate the realtors on some things to look for when they're doing the walkthrough, to kind of soft shoe it a little bit with their client, so that when we show up, it's not the first time they're hearing about it, and it just helps to keep the situation nice and calm for everybody.
Well, that would
Love
also just help improve the confidence in the client has with the agent as well, right? Because for the realtor to walk through a house, and if there's something blatantly obvious that their client should feel the realtor might have mentioned,
Yeah.
it's nice for them to know that there is obviously a realtor will never have the education you have, but to be able to point out a few things, that's probably a big deal for the realtor, for the client as well.
Yeah, we originally built this presentation or this training for new realtors, because what we find is new realtors are a little bit more hesitant to bring things up because they're a little nervous about what they're going to say that might scare the client. But in the end of the day, your point's exact. The realtor can bring a lot of value to that client by bringing those things up first instead of pretending they're not there. And so that's...
Totally.
Yeah, and again, it goes really close in with our partnership, so that when we show up, we can even talk to the realtor about it, and they can say, I did notice this. I remember in our training you said, if you see that, bring it up. So I did bring that up, so we know, okay, this is what we're going to talk about, and it just makes that transition go as smooth as possible.
Love it.
At the end of the day, the system that we've built, we were started by a realtor, and everything that we built is built around working with realtors. And so, as we progress, when I think about a partnership, I don't think about, we have a 12-month partnership here. I'm more thinking long-term, and we will continue to train and grow together and build those relationships.
That's awesome.
Ideally, you have a relationship with your inspector where you're walking through the house with them and they were doing the inspection, and you can just look at each other and have that communication. Right?
Yeah, which is so great.
And really be working together for the same goals.
One of the things that Martin and I were chatting about is one of the things we'd like to do eventually is do, for new agents, but do a sample home inspection walkthrough for realtors who have never been part of a home inspection before, to show up at a property, you'd find the property, and a home inspector would be like, okay, we're going to act like you're the client, just so you can actually see what this process is going to look like. So when it is time for your client's first home inspection, you're not wondering, I have no idea what to expect. Or if your client asks you about a home inspection, you have no idea what to say. So a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipelines. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Okay, so that lunch and learn, registration is open for that. I think it's going to be sold out really, really fast. But sign up for it if you're interested, and we will make sure that I think that one is important enough that we'll do that one on an ongoing basis a few times a year, but also lots of other stuff. So as soon as Florida has electricity, we'll be able to start launching that education hub for you. And I guess that's that. So for right now, on our website under our partnership section, you will be able to see a list of all of the inspectors and their contact information, as well as an email went out on Friday that has all of their information as well. So start there, and if anybody has any questions, feel free to contact Martin directly. We'll be sending your information out in an email after this meeting.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Martin. We
Martin.
look
Thanks
forward
for
to it.
being here.
for having
Okay,
us.
we'll be back in just a moment with Margaret Neff and talking about how you guys can benefit from the Leading RE conference coming up in Las Vegas.